The wildest fighter of Russia. Despite his appearance, he destroys any opponent like a mad beast. Even legends such as Orlovsky and Emelianenko couldn't survive a single round with him. This crazy monster's name is Vyacheslav Datsyk. Raised in the harshest parts of Russia, he has alternated professional fights with armed robberies and prison terms. And in this video, we will introduce you the scariest and strongest fighter in all of Russia and show you his best fights. This is Boxing Game, here we go. Vyacheslav Datsyk was born in 1980, and from a young age he was a wild child, frequently getting into fights that earned him 16 concussions. His aggressive behavior eventually landed him on the police watch list. But at the age of 18, Vyacheslav got interested in sports, as he learned that it was possible to maim people for free. Datsyk had no technique at all, but he had incredible physical strength, for which he was nicknamed Red Tarzan. A year later, he made his professional debut against future UFC champion Andrei Orlovsky, nicknamed Pitbull. Unlike the Russian boar, Orlovsky had been practicing martial arts all his life and was much more experienced and skillful.
Giving his other opponent.
The fight began, and the fighters immediately exchanged blows. However, Orlovsky, raised in gyms, was much stronger than a child of the streets.
Like, here I come, Joe. I wonder who his crew.
The experience earned in street fights was useless, and Datsyk looked more like a huge punching bag. Throughout the first round, Pitbull tormented his victim and completely dominated Tarzan.
And a big kick by Orlovsky. Wow! They're slugging it out here!
But everything changed in an instant for Orlovsky, because this monster gathered all his strength in a fist and sent Orlovsky on a trip through the world of dreams. In his debut fight, after crushing such a strong opponent, Datsyk confidently set out to conquer the peaks of MMA. But unlike other fighters, this crazy Russian robbed stores in his spare time. Soon he was declared insane and put in a psychiatric hospital. But he escaped from there and illegally arrived in Norway. In Norway, Datsyk was found sane and arrested before being deported to Russia. He spent a total of 9 years behind bars and was released in 2019. Once Vyacheslav was released, he immediately returned to fighting, but he no longer looked as imposing as he did in his youth. Because of his reputation, no organization wanted to accept the red-haired Tarzan. But Vyacheslav still got his chance and finally fully returned to the fights. Although he looked like an angry troll after his prison sentence, he still had explosive power in his fists. He confidently knocked out any opponent, but his wild nature always made itself known. Tarzan was like a wild beast that entered the ring as if on the hunt. But soon the brother of legendary Fedor Emelianenko came to destroy this crazy fighter. Russian sports legend Alexander Emelianenko was the undisputed favorite, as he had fights with such legends as Mirko Krokop, Fabricio Verdum, and George Barnett. The wild fighter seemed to have no chance. However, when the bell sounded, Tarzan retired the legend in just 10 seconds. Since the technically skilled fighters couldn't even last one round with Tarzan, the organization decided to give him an equally crazy opponent. This jacked giant's name is Geronimo dos Santos, and he is called the Ring Chef because he turns each opponent into a chop. At the press conference, Cocky dos Santos tried to break his opponent's spirit by intimidating him, but he didn't expect Datsuk's level of insanity to be much higher. The two wild fighters were about to find out who was the most ferocious and intimidating. These mad beasts seemed equal to each other, but in the wild life, only the strongest one survives. As the fight began, Datsuk showed his opponent who was at the top of the food chain. However, Dos Santos was able to get up, thinking he still had a chance to win, but Datsuk quickly buried all those hopes. Dos Santos' confidence was completely gone, and he cowardly refused to continue the fight. Datsuk showed Dos Santos who was the real lion in the pride, and who was the cowardly pussy. Vyacheslav's next opponent was Great Antonio Silva. The Brazilian fighter was nicknamed Bigfoot because of the huge size. The Brazilian was a former UFC fighter, and in addition, not so long ago he defeated such legendary fighters as Fedor Emelianenko, Travis Brown,